It's been over a year since Blanche passed. Quebec is a far cry from San Francisco, but perhaps its distance can heal wounds that time alone cannot.
It is lunchtime.
I know it's lunchtime. It wasn't 15 minutes ago. My husband died over a year ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not. He is in pain for years. I have been coughing, and last night I dreamed a funeral. I became afraid. I have a daughter, you see.
Dr. Laura will see you. We go home later.
You are a doctor. American doctors are supposed to be the best. Can you help me?
Oh, I don't see patients right now.
Ah, a doctor who doesn't see patients.
Come back in a few and Dr. Laura will see you. Goodbye.
It was nothing. I listened to her chest and back. There are no lesions. No TV. I told her to return in a month. I think she is spectacular. She can come back for check-ups forever. Agustina Macarig has skin like velvet.
Have you seen Agustina Manguerra Brainard? The widow with but she's no ordinary woman. My mother said she saw her with a child with a horn. Stories. Still, I wouldn't cross that her.
The people don't approve of her.
Look at her. Is she not delectable? People say she is wicked. Like her mother. She has a very mysterious background.
I can see why the people would despise a widow who carries on the way she does.
But friend, you don't understand. We love her. She is one of us. It's just that Americans love to gossip. Even when she patiently nursed her husband. They said she had lovers, but for 5 years, she took care of him. The people of Quebec like to talk. Over their meals, they talk. After eating, they talk. Outside church, after worshiping God, they talk. During afternoon walks, they talk. Just like we're talking.
I did
No?
I did not come here to gossip. I was perfectly content for the planning to my bubonic plague campaign.
Friend, you don't know how to enjoy life. Look at the sun turning red, getting ready to set spectacularly. It is wonderful afternoon. You walk with a friend, you talk about beautiful women, about life. Now, let me finish my story. People say her mother, a simple laundry woman, jumped over the seminary walls, and behind those hollowed walls, under the Arbol de Fuego trees, she bedded with one of Christ's chosen.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous nothing. Tabacalera, almost as good as Havanas.
No, thank you, but I don't smoke.
You don't smoke. You don't have women. You are a shell. Bringing you here was a chore. Are all American doctors like yourself? If they are, I wouldn't be caught dead in your rich and great country. You look like a god from Olympus. Tall, with gray eyes. You're not 40 yet, you act like an old man.
Then skip the lecture and get on the your story.
If you were not my boss, I would shake you to your senses. Anyway, the story goes that Agustina was born with horns.
Horns?
Like Thor. Yes. At noon, her mother went to the enchanted river to do her wash. The spirits roam at that time. Do you know what?
I swim almost daily to your so-called enchanted river, and I have seen nothing but fish and an occasional water buffalo, filthy animals.
Well, maybe there are or aren't spirits. No? Who are we to say there are none? The people say that her mother had a how do you say that? An encounter with an encantado. A river spirit. And Agustina is the product of that brief encounter. Her mother bribed a carpenter to saw off her horns when she was an infant.
She doesn't look like like a river spirit's daughter, Jamie.
Beware, you can never be sure.
So, you didn't like lechon?
Pardon? Oh, the pig. No, no, no.
Then, what do Americans eat? Dr. McAllister?
Pies? Cherry pies, bosom pies. Actually, I lost 10 pounds since I came here.
Wait, and kilos? That's how many?
4.5. I guess.
Oh, Santa Clara, you must get rid of your cook. She must be incompetent starving you like that. She is a shame and a people of Quebec.
Go.
So, Dr. McAllister, here's a thing. I like you and we have this kind of kinship. Come to my house and my daughter and I will feed you. If you just know my place, my location. Nothing exotic, just some good food.
Oh, tiger. I adore you so. Oh, tiger. How could you?
The rumors about Augustina Macaret swirled like the wind, outside unseen but ever present. The townspeople spoke of horns hidden under her hair, of curses and superstitions. Dr. Gerald McAllister, a man of science, had dismissed them. But now, sitting in her small, unadorned home, he found himself looking a little closer than he meant to. She was not what he expected. There were no signs of horns, no air of mystery or menace. She was a woman simple, calm, with a quiet dignity that filled the space around her. As they ate, Augustina didn't speak much. She moved gracefully, her hands steady, as she passed him a bowl of rice. Her silence wasn't cold, it was thoughtful, as if she were waiting for him to ask the question that burned in his mind. He thought about the whispers he had overheard in the town square. How could anyone believe such things? Sitting here, he saw no evidence of curses or horns, just a person who had lived through loss and learned to carry it without complaint. She caught him staring once. Her sharp eyes met his, and for a moment, he thought she might mention the rumors herself, but she only smiled, a small knowing smile that seemed to say, them talk. The meal continued, quiet but comfortable. Gerald found himself relaxing in her presence. Her home was modest, but it felt warm, cared for. She spoke only when necessary, her words measured and thoughtful. He couldn't remember the last time someone had made him feel so at ease. By the time they finished eating, Gerald realized something had shifted in him. It wasn't just curiosity about the stories anymore. He had come here expecting to solve a mystery, to see if there was any truth to the tales. Instead, he had found a woman who refused to be defined by the world's whispers. A woman who carried herself with grace, unbothered by the foolishness of others. And somewhere during that quiet, ordinary dinner, he realized he had fallen in love. Not with the idea of her, or the mystery surrounding her, but with Augustina herself. The horns didn't matter. They never had.
He stopped a breath away from her. The words he had practiced caught in his throat. She turned her eyes, meeting his calm, searching, unguarded. For a moment, the world stilled. The whispers, the scars, the stories. They all faded. What remained was the truth they had both been too afraid to name. Without a word, she stepped closer, her arms finding their place around him. He didn't hesitate this time. He pulled her close, holding her as if letting go was no longer an option. In that embrace, they understood. What had begun with curiosity had grown into something neither could deny. It wasn't the mystery that had drawn them together. It was love, quiet and undeniable, waiting for them to see it. As the sun disappeared into the horizon, they stayed there, knowing they had found what they didn't realize they had been searching for each other.